Marfo. He's a venerated musician. Yeah, a musician. And currently he's the coordinator of the Blackstar Experience right here. He is with us in the studio on Joe 99.7 FM. Uncle Rex, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kwame.
How old is this song?
Whoa.
My lady, is it lady?
Lady, yes. This song was recorded in 1996.
96?
Yes.
I was in class 6.
Yes. It was recorded in 1996.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I think we've not met this year on this show.
No.
Okay, the last time we met was the debate, right?
Yes.
Okay, then later you won power. Later you won power,
Yeah.
and then you won an appointment.
Yeah.
Congrats on that.
Thank you very much, Kwame.
Did you see it coming? Did you see that appointment coming?
Not really. In politics, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So I set up my mind that whatever happens, I'll still play my role.
Good.
To support Ghana and then to
Okay.
support His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, so that his last four-year term will be a true legacy term.
Wow.
So I did not see this coming, but eventually it came through.
Is that the position you wanted?
I from day one I set up my mind that if His Excellency saw something in me and felt that I can contribute to his agenda or nation development, and he asked me to come and serve,
Yeah.
I will do it. But then, to me, it wasn't like a life and death situation. It was because there are so many people in this country who are also qualified, who can do the same work. So it was just an honor when he appointed me to play this role that I'm playing.
Awesome. Joe 99.7 FM, Rex Owusu Marfo, popularly known as Rex Omar, is here with us in the studio, and Uncle Ken is also here. Uncle Ken, hello.
Good afternoon, Kwame.
How have you been, sir?
Not too bad, thank you. And Rex, good afternoon.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much, Uncle Ken. As for you and me, dear.
I know. I sat here and I said he should go and make us proud.
Exactly.
Yes. Do you remember?
I remember.
Yes.
I remember.
And I'm
Ken,
happy for him.
this is your Blackstar Experience.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank
Great.
you. Thank you, Rex.
Great,
Nice one.
great.
Kwame, I didn't know Rex was already here. I was rushing
To
come
come.
and talk to you about the VGMAs and your complaints.
Oh, you will
Okay.
get there. You will get there. So we're here with Rex Omar 05511119997. If you have any question for him, you can send them through now. How did you hear of your appointment, sir?
Actually, it was one faithful evening around 7 p.m.
Okay.
Then I had a call from the President's Executive Secretary. And he said, Rex, the old man says I should make you presidential staffer and the coordinator of the Blackstar Experience.
Okay.
I was like, wow. To me, it was a mixed feeling, So he said, the next day, please come to the Jubilee House and to take your appointment letter.
Wow.
And I wasn't fighting for myself alone. So, I have a team.
Yeah.
During
Yeah.
the campaign and all that. So I have a team. My team.
Yes.
Yes. So I've already pushed all of their names that we are taking over the creative industry and the tourism.
Okay. So when they gave you the appointment, then you went home and then you put together a team.
No,
You had a team already.
I had a team during the campaign.
Oh, those you were
Those
moving
I was moving
with.
around with, and then not only those who I was moving around, also those who are NDs like Baba Sadiq, like all the people.
Yeah.
So I've already pushed their CVs and everything that
Wow.
they should put all our people in some positions so that we can help. Just like we had a debate
Yeah.
with the previous party in power.
Yes.
So I wanted a situation where all my team people will get some position so that we can actually deliver. So when I went and they gave me my appointment letter, and I said, what about this guy?
Which one?
I don't want to mention their names. So I said, oh, Doc, so what about this guy? And what about this one too? And what? Let's say,
so you presented Baba Sadiq's name?
Yes, of course.
For which
Of
position?
course. I don't want to. So.
So if you presented the names, then you must have presented your name as well for a particular
No.
position.
Unfortunately, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I mean, and they asked me where you want to go. I didn't know where I want to go. I told them that wherever His Excellency puts me,
Yeah.
I will serve.
But prior to the announcement of your appointment,
Yeah.
there were, the rumors or publications tipping you to be a minister. There were 3 names.
Yeah.
I think Baba Sadiq, Honorable Jifar, and then you.
Yeah.
3 of you were.
To be honest with
What's
you,
it
I
by a lot
did
of
not
people?
see myself being the substantive minister due to so many factors. The president's, based on our constitution, his hands are tied.
Yeah.
He has to consider gender balance, parliamentary balance, regional balance, and all those things. And if you tick the boxes, you realize that my dear sister,
Ablanchi
Ablaji Fagomashi, ticked all the boxes. I mean,
Okay.
in terms of gender, she
Yeah.
was a woman, and in terms of parliamentary balance, she was a parliamentarian. In terms of regional balance, voter
Exactly.
region, which is NDC stronghold, and then the 4th one, she's been a deputy minister before.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
definitely she was the most qualified person to be the Minister of
Minister of
Tourism. So I
Tourism.
was very happy. She's a creative as well, so I was very happy when
Awesome.
she was appointed. Yes.
Now let's come to your job, coordinator of Blackstar Experience. What is your job description?
Honestly speaking, I'm supposed to formulate the policy
Okay.
to actually define the strategic structure of
Okay.
the Blackstar Experience,
Experience.
what it actually is, and to also coordinate intersectorial, interagency, interministerial, to come together to be able to deliver the outcome of what
Okay.
the Blackstar Experience is supposed to be.
So
Because-
going into what the Blackstar Experience is, if you can explain that to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Blackstar Experience is to serve as Ghana's leading brand in culture, arts, and tourism, and creative engagement, bridging local and international audiences.
Okay.
It embodies all the interactions linked to the renowned and legendary Ghanaian hospitality across various dimensions. So that is the Blackstar Experience. And then our mission is to reaffirm, revitalize, and reimagine the essence, identity, and the spirit of Ghana to attract people, investments, businesses into the Ghanaian economy.
Okay. So it is like the banner. It's like the headline.
It is the
Overarching
banner, the
program.
overarching program to rebrand Ghana through tourism, arts, and culture.
Okay. Okay. So you are using these tools, tourism, arts, culture,
Culture, yes.
to rebrand Ghana.
Ghana, exactly.
Then it means that your work goes beyond tourism, arts, and culture because you may need other things and other.
It does. For example, we're talking to a company that wants to build a 3,000 capacity specialized hospital.
Yeah.
As because in our manifesto we also spoke about health tourism. So this specialized hospital wants to be set up so that people will travel around the globe to come to Ghana purposely for that kind of service that they need. They want their own runway and all that. It falls within. They wrote a letter to us. It falls on our lap. So there's so many things. For example, there is a project that is coming up that we have to link with Ghana Investment Promotion Center. GIPC, because this is an investment summit that has to do with creative arts and tourism. But when it comes to investment, then you liaise with GIPC. Some people are coming. They want to invest in Ghana, but they want to be sure that they are safe. Some of these things you have to maybe liaise with the national security or go to Ministry of foreign affairs and all these things. So it's interdimensional, interministerial. For example, we are tasking some people, Ghana, for us to succeed in most of the things that we want to do, it also need attitudinal change.
Okay.
And attitudinal change doesn't happen overnight. So you want our children to understand what it is to be a Ghanaian, love of country, patriotism. So we're asking people, commissioning people to write books, that these books must be published, textbook must be published, so that it can go through our school system to teach our children what it is and what it takes to become a Ghanaian and how to be patriotic. You deal with Ministry of Education. So it has to do with so many other things. But in all together, you are branding Ghana through, if we say culture, culture is everything.
The way of life.
Way of life. So Blackstar Experience is 360-day way of life. That's why we say, see Ghana, feel Ghana, and enjoy Ghana. And before you can see Ghana, you have to see yourself. Who is the Black Star? If you look through, if you look at our flag, the red is the blood of ancestors that fought. They spilled this blood to fight for this land for us. You look at the yellow, it represents our mineral resources, which is gold is number 1. And you look at the green, that represents our vegetation. Who is the black in the middle there? I and you. We are the black stars. So we are inviting the whole world to come and experience us through our 7 pillars, our storytelling.
Okay, so you have 7 pillars.
We have 7 pillars
that you are working with as a secretariat.
Exactly.
Okay.
So these 7 pillars has to do with our film, visuals, and storytelling. The second pillar has to do with audio, our music,
okay,
our sound, our traditional phonography. Third pillar has to do with our cuisine, our culinary.
That is food.
Food.
Okay.
Culinary experiences, ingredients, cooking processes, our type of foods, wache, jollof, kelewele, gobe, all these things. Then we go to our aesthetics, visual arts, design, contemporary imagery, and all that. Then you go to the 5th one. You're talking about fashion, textiles, and accessories. Then the 6th one, literature, books, intellectual pursuit, thought leadership. Then you go to culture, traditional tenets, codes, stories, and history. So we needed to do these things, and all that, the 7 pillars that we are going to rebrand Ghana through. And we needed to also design the identity, how we want the world to see us, how we see ourselves to start with, and how we want the world to see us. And all these things needed to be put together to make sense and to tell a story.
Great.
So when I was appointed, I put a team together. I combed around the world. I spoke to country brand experts around the globe.
All right.
Which countries have gone through this and has come out successfully. So it was true that we're clear that we needn't reinvent the wheel. Other countries have gone through this processes and has come out successfully. So we decided to also toe the same line. The difference is some people are doing it through sports. Some people are doing it through business.
Yeah.
But we decided to do it through culture, arts, and tourism. We want Ghana to become...
and sports by extension sometimes falls under tourism.
It does.
The sports tourism.
It does, but we want to... We don't want it to be the center.
The center of it.
So
Great.
We want Ghana to be the cultural hotspot, the number 1 destination when it comes to culture. We want Ghana to be, when it comes to film, number 1 destination for filmmaking. So these are some of the things that we're working on.
Okay, Joe 99.7 FM. Good afternoon to you, Notte Dua, host of Ultimate Health, and you are listening to us right now. 055-1111-997 is our WhatsApp number. You can send us a WhatsApp right now. I'm here with Rex Omar. He's the coordinator of Blackstar Experience. It's government's flagship program for tourism, art, and culture, and they set out to rebrand Ghana using tourism, art, and culture. You met the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwakohene, on 7th March in Kumasi.
Yeah.
What did you discuss?
2 or 3 things. He, as a regional minister, was proactive in talking about the creatives and started putting some stuff together, and I thought it was a very important move that he did, and I also had ideas based on our manifesto. So he being the regional minister, I decided to go and then speak to him about some projects. If you read our manifesto, you realize that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised to do a second theater in Kumasi.
Yes, it's in there.
And then you cannot build a theater if you don't have a land. So for us to
does that also fall under the mandates of your secretariat?
If I read this thing to you, let me go back to read it to you again so you understand. The last one, it says, the Blackstar Experience serves as Ghana's leading brand in culture, arts and tourism and creative engagement, bridging local and international audiences. It embodies all interactions and linked to... No, this is not the one I want to speak with. This one, the mission. Reaffirm, revitalize, reimagine the essence, identity and spirit of Ghana to attract people, investment, businesses into the Ghanaian economy. So it is one of our missions to find ways to bring investment into the Ghanaian economy through creative arts, tourism and culture. So for example, if we have promised that we're going to build a second theater, it is one of our jobs to make sure that this theater is built. As to where it will be built, it's not President Mahama who will go around and ask. That is why he has appointed some of us.
So please educate me. Will that not be the task or the mandate of the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture to put up, let's say, such edifice in the Ashanti region? I'm just trying to get a clear cut between,
let me explain to you
the mandate of the Secretariat and then the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture.
The Secretariat is not an implementer.
Okay.
So if I go and ask for where are we supposed to build this? Because you can't even start designing anything if you don't have a land.
True.
Because the design of the theater will depend on the land, the topography, whatever is supposed to be. So once you have the land, the ministry knows you have gotten the land. Now, what does it stop if my secretariat is able to raise the funding? And then do the design. At the end of the day, it's a coordination work. So, for example, if I'm able to raise funding for Creative Arts Authority, what is wrong with that? It helps us to achieve the same common purpose. That's why I said our work is coordination to help to achieve one common goal based on our manifesto. The ministry already has a lot on their plate, and Blackstar Experience, we are not duplicating anything. So if you look at our strategy is amplify and or create. So those existing platforms, programs, events and attractions, promote whatever, if they are there already, we will help to amplify. So for example, if we have a national theater in Accra, and it is there, it needs renovation. So the ministry will deal with it. We have Marine Drive
project,
and it is in a manifesto that we have to go back to it. It is the ministry's work through its agencies. But nothing stops Blackstar Experience Secretariat if we allocate an investor who wants to play a role in building Marine Drive. Nothing stops us to go to the ministry and say, we have these investors, they want to help building this project. Of course, we have done our work. So that is what it is.
Good one there. And your office is at the presidency?
Yes, please.
Is there a special reason why your secretariat is at the presidency?
I think this question is for the president to answer. It's not.
Maybe you had a conversation with him and he explained to you.
I believe that this special initiative and the overarching initiative is very dear to His Excellency's heart. And perhaps he wanted it to be at the presidency so that he has the direct
Okay.
Involvement with it. I mean, here is the president who says he's going to even be on a catwalk.
Yes,
He
yes.
tells
yes,
you that
the runway.
he's going to be very, very, very. He's serious about this project. That's why he brought it. That's what I think.
Great.
But he is the right person to answer this question.
So whom do you report to directly?
Chief of Staff.
Okay.
He's my direct boss.
Awesome. Joe 99.7 FM, Showbiz A-Z, Rex Owusu Marfo. Rex Omar is here today. And on 1st May, there was a very beautiful ceremony at the Blackstar Square, the Freedom and Justice Monument. That was the launch of the Blackstar Experience. A very, very beautiful, beautiful event it was. And we're looking forward to a number of activities and products from this. What should we look forward to?
So much already. We have so much ongoing.
Yeah.
In terms of the agencies under the ministry, you know, GTA organizes a lot of stuff, and then the ministry itself also have a lot of projects. And then we have projects that the previous government started, Beyond the Return and all these projects. So these projects, some of them we are going to help in amplifying them. And then we also have our own non-existing projects that we want to introduce to make the country what we want it to become, the cultural capital. So, you know, our office was set up in the second quarter, you know, so the year is already gone, but still we have some ambitious projects that we want to do this year.
Okay.
Some of them we don't want to, we are now putting the finishing touches to it, so we rather want to hesitate before announcing them, but most of them will be launched
this year,
so that we can speak coherently in relation to. Some of them will be launched, but some of them will actually happen.
All right.
Because we don't want a boring year, you know. So we're going to have a very, very, very bubbling.
Which ones will be held this year?
There's going to be a star-studded events, musical concerts.
Great.
In fact, there are going to be two. One of them, we just started talking about it, and
wow,
it's going to be, that one is, they are thinking of even early next year, you know, during the holidays in the January, and then some of them is happening through 30 December, and then
30 December, you'll get there.
And then we're also going to have a very, very serious. Remember, Creatives Connect, the one that we had in Kumasi, and His Excellency promised that during his term, every year, he will want to meet the creatives. And so, because we met in November, we are doing Creatives Connect this November as well, but this time it's going to be bigger because we are fixing it within a project that we're planning to do with the AFTA Secretariat, because they are also
the Africa Free Trade Continental.
Yes,
Free
exactly.
Trade, okay.
Africa, friends say
Continental Free Trade area. Yeah.
There is a big project that has to do with creative culture, arts, and tourism that they are speaking to us. So in collaboration, we do that and put the Creatives Connect into it. So 54 countries will travel all over to come to Ghana. It's a 3-day project, and it's huge. So this.
You mean there will be creatives from other countries?
Yes. And then government officials and government representatives and whatever to come to Ghana. It's a kind of conference type, but also have musical performances, have film screening, and all those things.
Wow.
You know, and then gastronomy, people will come to show us different foods from different African countries, and then some days will become Ghanaian food alone. It's a whole lot of.
So this one will go beyond just meeting the creatives and getting their concerns.
Exactly. And then even meeting the creatives, we're also having industry giants from other countries to come and tell us what it is. It helps with the thought leadership aspect of it, and also to find ways and means that we can elevate the Ghanaian creative economy to a level higher.
Will that be a 1-day event?
3 days event.
Wow. 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 Joy 99.7 055111197. We're getting to know more about the Blackstar Experience. You can send in your questions if you have any doubts, any misconceptions about it. Rex Omar is the coordinator of the Blackstar Experience, is here to answer all your questions. So you can do that right now. You mentioned during the launch that there will be Ghana Music Week. Will it happen this year?
Yeah, Ghana Music Week. Right now, there's discussion going on. We don't want the Blackstar Experience to be centered only in Accra.
Yes.
We want to spread it around the country.
Yes.
And then, so now what we are finding out is which program should we put at which region. We need the need assessment. We need to go to the regions to see which program fits this region. You know, so this is what we are looking at. I'm sure that in a couple of weeks, we will know exactly where to put what. It's not all the regions that will have their programs this year. Some of the programs, any program that you do, Blackstar Experience Secretariat or Blackstar Experience Agenda is also a kind of quality type of, how do I put it? We want it to, any project we get ourselves involved, we want it to be top notch, how we want the world to see us. You know, if we start a project this year, we're hoping that by the time you do the second and the third, it will attract people from all over the world to come to Ghana.
Yeah.
So if it is a fashion show, we want to make sure that the basics are right, where we're putting it is right. If it is a musical carnival concert or whatever, we want to make sure that you just don't do a carnival. What about the food aspect of it? What about the clothing? So it's a whole lot of things that we want to do in different regions so as to be able to attract people. There are so many programs we have in our pipeline. Some of them will be just launched, soft launched this year for next year.
Okay.
So that's what we're planning.
Okay. There was also another thing you mentioned about a multi-dollar film studio.
Yeah.
And I hear in one interview you mentioned it cost $200 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
So these are some of the things that our secretariat is working at.
Okay.
You know, so you know, the creative economy is driven by private capital all over the world. So the government just creates the enabling environment in terms of policy, in terms of if you want to develop a specific sector, you create the attraction that will bring private capital to develop that specific sector. So we are in discussion with a private group who are ready to move. They want to build a Hollywood standard studio.
Wow.
And then add educational aspect to it. And the value of the investment is more than $200 million. They want to build it on 200-acre land.
Wow.
So that it will attract people all over the world to come and shoot movies here. And then it can also help to educate and elevate our own movie production. And you see, the more, the better. If you remember, Idris Elba also went to see His Excellency. He's also trying to do something here. Just yesterday, a third group also came to my office, discussing with me. They also want to come and do stuff like that. So the more these things come to Ghana, the global attention will be in Ghana. And our work is to make Ghana creative hub, the cultural capital. So as these things are coming, it will attract people to come to Ghana, and we would have achieved our aims.
So have they gotten the land already?
Yes.
I'm talking about those you spoke about.
Yes.
They have it.
They have the land already. They don't need any money. They have their money already. They have everything already. All they want is our facilitation to be able to do this work seamlessly without any disturbances.
How is the Blackstar Experience Secretariat going to fund all these projects?
I think I've answered you. I've told you that creative economy is driven by private capital. So most of our projects will be either PPP or purely private with our facilitation. And there are certain things that if government will have to lead it, government will lead it, but then it will have to be private. Because me and you, we know that any project that, especially in the creative economy, any project that becomes government, sustainability becomes difficult. Look at the National Theatre. Why has it run down? Do you think National Theatre would have run down if it was driven by private person? No. So if my secretariat will be the one that leads to build Kumasi Theatre, it will be a different ball game, because it has to make economic sense. It should be a multi-purpose theatre. You don't wait for, so if nobody comes to do a show, then the theatre doesn't make money. What will be the revenue stream? So we have to do a multi-purpose theatre so that every day they are receiving money, so as to be able to make it economically viable. In that scenario, the model that I'm putting together, if it works, you can replicate it in other regions. That's how things are done. So the interested parties in, say, Ashanti Region National Theatre may not be the same interested parties in, say, Northern Region National Theatre. There will be PPP. For example, just like the hotels, the way the hotels are run. I mean, Golden Tulip in Accra may have different shareholders than from the Golden Tulip in Kumasi.
Yeah.
But then it is a management group that is managing it. So this same thing, there are so many ways that we can get these things done and make them sustainable.
It's a private partnership.
Exactly, because any project that is not economically viable, it has no sustainability. You build it, maintenance culture will catch up, paying staff, whatever. Then by the time you realize that thing is running down. And that is why you cannot do same things all the time and expect different results. So from our secretariat, our studies, we ask questions. Why is it that National Theatre is running down? Because maybe every money that comes, they pay their salaries, they pay to their consolidated fund, and they don't have their own internally generated ways to renovate the place or maintain the place or whatever it is. And to take money from government to do some of these things is a nightmare, So I believe that going forward, the best thing is PPP, so that government plays a role and private capital plays the role and private capital manages.
Okay.
That is the only way forward.
Okay. Let me get to Uncle Ken, and if you have some questions, some comments to pass on everything that Uncle Rex has said so far. Yeah.
Yes, Kwame. Very lofty ideas, in the pipeline for the Blackstar Experience. But I want to know from Rex whether activities currently being undertaken by agencies under the ministry will automatically fall under Blackstar Experience. Let me give you an example. For instance, the Spannerfest, which is something that is undertaken by the ministry itself. There is the year of return or whatever that.
Year of return is past, now beyond the return.
Beyond the return, undertaken by GTA or whatever. Are all these events? Recently, there was a night tour by GTDC.
Yeah, Kobe Mensa.
Okay. What I want to know whether all these events fall under the Blackstar Experience.
No, they don't.
Okay.
That is why our strategy is amplify. So all these existing projects, Blackstar Experience Secretariat is not going to be a duplicity of anything that is already in existence.
Okay.
So the projects that are being carried out by, say, GTA has their own dedicated funding that comes through the tourism levy. So they will do their own projects, but the Blackstar Experience will only help to amplify it. For example, we believe that Panafest should have been one of the biggest festivals, but now it's become like kind of an underdog festival. Is it because we will do research? We have spoken to the committee to come to the office for us to sit to find out what is the problem. If it is funding, if it's well, then we will see how can we help to amplify it.
Okay.
So, for example, Beyond the Return, I think the Beyond the Return itself has its secretariat. That is being handled by GTA. We're not going to meddle with it. We will meet with them to see how we can help to make it better. The project that we are going to deal with is a project that we are initiating.
Okay.
Because you are speaking about things like GTDC's project that they are doing. It's their project.
Right. Okay.
It's their project. The only thing that I see here.
So it doesn't come under.
No, Blackstar Experience. No, all the agencies have their projects, and then the ministry itself has its own projects and whatever. We will help. And in fact, there are projects that does not lie under any of the ministry or the agencies. For example, the traditional festivals like Hogbechocho, like Homowo, like Abuacher, and all these things. We want to help to amplify these projects so as to be able to attract more foreigners to come to Ghana to spend their money.
When you say
amplify means enhance it and make it known.
So your outfit would, for instance, pump funds into such activities if the funds that the relevant agency is short of.
It's not about funds alone. So, for example,
because the amplification is what I want.
Amplification is we are rebranding Ghana. So the amplification is if there are projects that will help Ghana's name to be heard out there, so as to be able to attract people to come. For example, we will decide that this year's Abuacher or whatever.
Okay.
We will go with drones and cameras and whatever to film these things properly, professionally, cinematically, and throw it out there because we have partners who will help us to show these things on platforms that has never been shown.
Okay.
So as to be able to attract more people. So if it comes to say the event itself, we will meet with the committee to discuss how we can make the event more structured, so that most of these traditional events has stories.
Okay.
Under it. How many Ghanaians know the story behind Abuacher? How many Ghanaians know the story behind Hogbechocho? So we will go find out the story, what makes Hogbechocho the story. Then we need to have publications, write-ups, and whatever, to make Ghanaians understand it to start with, and also find ways to make the global audience who wants to come to Ghana understand this so that it will attract people to come to Ghana.
Rex, I'm only asking these questions because I am worried about duplicity of roles within the agencies, and I think that from what you have told us, then it means that there's got to be a lot of collaboration, like you said, from the beginning between
the agencies,
all the agencies and the ministry itself, for everybody to. But I heard you say somewhere that the Blackstar Experience is based on 7 pillars.
Yeah, he mentioned that during his presentation here.
Yeah. What are those pillars?
He mentioned that earlier.
Oh.
Yes, right here. He mentioned...
You were late, but I will mention them again.
Okay. He mentioned sound, he mentioned aesthetics.
Our 7 pillars is storytelling, film, and visuals. That has to do with our movies. And for example, you see, I've been complaining all over that we're showing soap operas that has nothing to do with us and all those things. So we're going to liaise with the different agencies to make sure how do we find way to support our filmmakers and our storytellers so that we can write stuff that has to do with us to produce them. So that we can show it here and export. Our work is to ensure that the standard, the quality is top notch. So His Excellency, if you read through our manifesto, we're going to have equipment pool so that the filmmakers can get top quality cameras and editing suite and all the necessary gadgets they need to get the things done properly so that it can stand international whatever. We will do that. That's our first pillar. And then second pillar, we're talking about audio, our music, our sound. We keep talking about high life. What is high life? We have to redefine what high life is. We have to incorporate some of our traditional sound, banlogo, bobobo, sode, apatampa, all those things, to be able to say that any traditional type of Ghanaian music forms part of high life, so that we can expand the high life. Because you cannot actually determine a genre of music based on 3 chords.
Uncle Rex, with regards to the high life thing, I think plans are far advanced to even document us in UNESCO's books. And
exactly.
I think this year they would list us as intangible,
just like they've done
heritage.
with salsa and all
Yes,
these things.
yes,
Exactly.
yes,
So
yes.
the
And
question,
Rumba,
the question is, culture is dynamic.
Yeah.
The high life that used to be played 50 years ago is exactly not the same high life that is being played today.
Yeah.
So because we have not been intentional about some of these things, people comes here, play the same high life, modernized way, and give it a different
name. Yeah.
You know, so all these things have happened to us because we have not been intentional about any of these things, and that is what Blackstar Experience seeks to do.
Good.
For example, now we go to our cuisine. I always laugh that people wants to go to Chinese restaurant and eat Chinese food. When you say Chinese restaurant, it means Chinese food. And people go to Chinese restaurant to eat Chinese food. Now they've introduced another one, sushi bars. They go to sushi bar to eat what? Japanese food. How are we also going to do ours with our jollof, with our kelewele, with our egg, with pepper, and all these things? How are we also going to package it so that people can also, with our Hausa cocoa and all these things? So these are the areas. You come to this country and build a 5-star hotel, and as a Ghanaian, I come and sleep there. I want to breakfast, and say, oh, we have only English breakfast. I mean, what do you mean by that? How can I also get Ghanaian breakfast in a hotel that is being run in Ghana? You see, so as we promote, if you look at our tagline, see Ghana. If you don't see yourself, nobody will see you. If you don't feel yourself, nobody will feel you. And if you don't enjoy yourself, nobody will enjoy you. So see Ghana means see everything that is Ghanaian.
Okay.
So that you can speak about it.
All right.
Feel Ghana. Feel everything that is Ghanaian. So people can feel it. And then enjoy everything that is Ghanaian, so other people can also enjoy it. So it is something that behoves on me and you to be able to do it. Other countries have done it. As I told you, I spoke to over 20 nation brand experts, and almost all of them said almost the same things. So we are not going to reinvent the wheel. The other pillar is aesthetics, visual arts, design, contemporary imagery. It is only in Ghana that somebody is a guitarist, he dies and his casket is been built like guitar. Somebody is a singer. You go to this place and they have a casket that is a microphone.
Yeah.
This is unique.
In Ghana, we do that.
This is uniquely Ghanaian.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we need to embrace it. That is us. This is what makes us unique. You know, so these things can be packaged and promoted out there that people come. Hey, it will shock you that people will be interested and they will even order our casket builders to build some of these things. So these are the areas that we are going to highlight. Then you talk
okay.
about
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank
I mean,
you.
Okay.
You're fine. And finally,
Okay. Before
I just
bring in
think
Francis.
that I wouldn't want to call it advice because I'm not in any position to advise.
Oh,
Rex.
you are in any position to
I think
advise.
that with all these things that he has enumerated, that the Blackstar Experience wants to get involved with, you know, I think that if you narrow it down to 1 or 2 or 3 particular things for a period of time and get over with that before you move on, it will be better for you. Because if you pump all this into the atmosphere, everybody's sitting there listening to you and saying, hey, how is he going to be able to? That's the first question that will come into people's minds. And so I think that you should narrow it down to 1, 2, 3 projects that you want to achieve with, and then move on as you go along.
Okay, so let me explain to you.
Okay.
What you are saying is you have a design, a plan to build a 5-story building. The plan must be there that I want to build a 5-story building. But definitely, in terms of implementation, you start with the foundation. After the foundation, then you can maybe raise the superstructure.
Right.
Then you say, okay, let me finish the first floor. So you are talking about implementation. Obviously, we cannot do everything overnight. And Blackstar Experience, as I keep saying, is not an event. It is a way of life. You know, so obviously, we will start from, first and foremost, we are looking at doing what we call stakeholders engagement. Blackstar Experience must be owned by Ghanaians. It's not one man's job or one man's show. It must be owned by Ghanaians. So we are going to go around to explain what the Blackstar Experience is for so many people to understand what it is. That it is you, as you shine your black star, as I shine my black star, as you shine your black star, then we will shine for the world to see us. It's not an event that you do it overnight. Blackstar Experience cannot be, all the things we want to do cannot be achieved in 4 years. But I'm sure that if we all put our mind to it and be intentional about it, in 10 years it will be a different story altogether.
Great. Let me welcome Francis Doku, who is CEO of Maestro Africa Group and the West Africa Regional Rep for Africa Tourism Partners. Let me welcome him to the studio, and then Uncle Francis.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have Uncle Rex here today, and he's talking to us about Blackstar Experience. Any question, any comment for him?
Yeah, I think I'm correct. We haven't met since your appointment, so I think it's in order to congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
We've spoken on the phone, but for something else. But I think this is the first time we met since we had a debate,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So congratulations,
Thank you
and
very much.
I also saw that the Blackstar Experience was launched
Yes.
earlier this month, and so I believe we are in to implement, the things that were put in the manifesto. Kwame,
Okay.
so I think Rex had explained a lot of things, as I was coming, I was listening, and a lot had been explained. But I want to also say a few things in regards to what Uncle Ken was trying to say. That's explanation, but, some of them still linger in a sense that, first of all, I had thought, when NDC won, that what they had mentioned in the manifesto, which was the Blackstar Experience, was going to be the overarching, the tourism and cultural, experience for Ghanaians and our engagement with the Africans outside and all that. I had thought that because of how it was mentioned, it would be something that would stay under the Ministry of Tourism, because that is the ministry that embodies everything that we do as far as tourism, culture, and creative arts is concerned. But yeah, we had an announcement that a secretariat had been established, if you like, under the presidency, and that's how it was going to experience. So that for me was a bit of, a surprise, if you like. But at the end of the day, as I keep saying anytime I come here, since we're talking about elections, and all that, at the end of the day, it is the vision of the president that drives, everything that the party that won the election will be doing. So if the president says this is how I want it, then I believe that's how I want it. My only concern is, again, some of the concern that Uncle Ken mentioned about duplicity of roles, possibly. Because I hear Uncle Rex when he mentioned about how we want to promote Ghana and promote the things that are Ghanaians. And for me, that is directly with the Ghana Tourism Authority. I believe there are two roles of promotion and regulation of tourism is what they're supposed to do. I mean, we'll consider that some of the things that they're supposed to do that the GTA has not been able to do. For instance, when Uncle Rex mentioned the traditional festivals, I think that I have always advocated that there's a need to package that, better, and that role would be the GTA doing that and putting things up. But he also mentioned how they're going to go beyond the everyday things that is done to properly document and, give some life meanings to it. But I believe, I had always believed that the GTA was supposed to lead that. And I say that also because we work with other tourism authorities and tourism boards in other countries, and we know what they do. I mean, if you take, for example, South Africa Tourism, they're responsible for everything that is supposed to market South Africa.
Right.
Like everything. I was in Ethiopia, and at Bole International Airport, see a lot of South Africa branding. every section you go to. So I was speaking with them and say, yeah, they're taking it a bit more serious now, trying to brand and market their country because they have a target to bring in
They
about.
didn't start today.
Yeah, what I mean is that
Wow.
every year they have a target to bring in 12 million people to South Africa. They want 12 million visitors to South Africa this year. Last year they did 10 million. You know, and I think it's the first time they've done 10 million after COVID because COVID they did 10 million and then they knock off. We're doing just about 1.2 million now. I think for me, I've always said when I come here that I think it's too small a number. I mean, countries like Barbados and all that, they can just snap their fingers and they make 10 million visitors. Small countries and all that. So there's a lot that we have to do. And so having said that, I think that any way that Ghana would go to promote our destination, to get people to visit, and us as Ghanaians would also visit our, I think it's laudable. So if the president says that, listen, I want this to be different from the tourism ministry. I mean, and this is a different role. This is something special. It's not a function, right? It's supposed to be experience for people who live in the country, people who come, and that would lead to promoting the country better. I think it is laudable, but my concern, as has been Uncle Ken's concern, would be that we're not duplicating, efforts. So Rex's office is not doing something that the GT is supposed to be doing. They are doing something, and his office is doing something. His office is doing something that the GIPC, and I heard Uncle Rex when he was talking about how they would try to bring in people to invest in the country. Right. I thought that's a mandate for GIPC, regardless of which area, whether it's agric, whether it's tourism, whether it's medical. Their responsibility is to make sure they bring in investors.
And what about the diaspora and affairs?
Yes, also that office is supposed to be responsible,
and
not
the
only
GTDC.
And GTDC as well.
So that's why he says there will be a collaboration.
Yeah, there's a collaboration, but again, the point is that if there are existing agencies that are doing that, why do we have another one that would do that? And I think he's explained that it is more to bring things together and all that. But just to close on the fact that, and I'm sure again he will emphasize that it is not a duplicity role, but to make sure that what his secretariat or office is doing is not the same thing that another is doing. But even if it is, maybe just to support and amplify what they're doing. But let's all work together, in my view, that will make sure that Ghana becomes a destination that attracts more people. I mean, this year we've been talking a lot about how, and even the president mentioned it in Sona, how MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions will become a very important aspect of our thing. And MICE is not just tourism, by the way. So I believe that their secretariat has a role to play in that, and has a role to play together with the GTA and all other agencies to make sure that we market this destination for people to visit. And just on the last note also, I heard one Uncle Rex talk about See Ghana, Feel Ghana, and Enjoy Ghana, right? Yeah. But I think some of those have been what the GTA have been pushing, for a while. So how would that be now? Are we taking it away from GTA as a statement, or we're just collaborating with them to make sure that we have that also out?
I will answer you with one word. My title is a coordinator. Our office is a secretariat to coordinate with all these various agencies. So we are not duplicating anything they're doing already. That's why before you came in, our strategy is amplify or create. So
I heard that on the road.
Yes, so our amplification is coordinating with all the various agencies so as to be able to achieve the same results. So I am happy that you're saying that GTA is supposed to do this, GTA is supposed to do that. Have we achieved the expected results? If we haven't achieved it, perhaps there should be a booster. So we are not going to duplicate anything that is already in existence. We are going to help to make sure that those that are in existence will be amplified. So the word amplified means helping to bring the thing up to help all of us to achieve the same results. So I believe that That is the reason why the president calls this Blackstar Experience an overarching initiative, so as to be able, for example, if we are in the office and people come through culture, arts, and tourism and say we want to do an investment expo for culture, arts, and tourism, our office will have to liaise with GIPC, because they are established to bring in investment.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, one of the things that we're discussing, the biggest black entertainment platform in Atlanta, they have events that they call it Blackstar Week, and we are Blackstar Experience. So obviously, the word Blackstar even came out of Atlanta through the 1919 Marcus Garvey. So that's why they are celebrating Blackstar Week. So when we team up with them, and they deal with the 500 top businesses in America, they say they want to set up an investment, blah blah blah, for the Blackstar system. Obviously, we cannot go and do it without speaking to GIPC that this is what is about to happen. So, can we do it? So then their core mandate is served. For example, if we are branding Ghana, I've read the law that established GTA. There is none in GTA's law that says that they should brand Ghana. Their work is a regulator to regulate the tourism industry. Okay, so we're supposed to have tourism inspectors going around the hotels and the tourism sites and whatever, making sure that everything is doing what they're supposed to do. There's so many things that needs to be done that are not being done, and you can't blame anybody. So we are looking at the holes. Where are we supposed to do this that we haven't done, and can we help in bringing attention to it? Can we help to amplify these areas so as to be able to achieve the same results? So it's not I don't see a duplication at all. So we all live in this country. We know that Panafest should have been the biggest festival, because when it started, the way it was going, it was very, very big. Is Panafest what it is, or what we want it to be? Why are we not there? So this is where we come and find out how. Not blaming anybody, but how. How can we help to make it better? We have NAFAC. We have so many things that we will keep creating and creating and creating. So when we create something, and if we are not very careful, beyond the return, we also become like Panafest. So we need to be, our office, we need to be intentional. And I believe that we will just enhance the already existing programs, and we will be able to help to bring in much more investment, because we are focusing on the investment. We have a deficit. We are deficient when it comes to infrastructure. You want people to visit your country, look at your roads. Right now, if you are to bring a project, a MICE project in Ghana that is bringing, say, 100,000 people in Ghana for 1 week, there will be problem.
You can't even do that.
You can't. Where are the hotels? You see, so these are the areas that we will come in strong to make sure that we bring investors who can come.
Bankers, remember I asked you whether your role will be to inject funding.
Yeah, but I think you were late. I spoke about it.
But he asked about whether your role will be inject money.
I asked you
injecting money.
Your role will be to inject funding.
The way you ask the question,
you are putting the
you
money.
are putting as if you say our office is created by government. So if you say your role is to inject money, it presupposes that our role is government to inject money. Of course, whatever we do, hold on. If you have asked, your role is to help to bring investment. That would have been, well, if you say inject money, it will presuppose there's a big money with us that we're supposed to inject. No, our role is to help bring investment. Just like I spoke to you about the Hollywood Standard studio that is being built, it is through our facilitation. If that is what it's
being built.
They said they're in talks with the people. They are partners, so they are going to build a multi-million-dollar film studio in Ghana.
No,
200
he just
million
said being built.
No.
That is why I
to
I
be
asked.
built.
To be
To
built.
be built.
No.
Okay.
So we are facilitating for them to come and build
Okay.
this standard, and then we are talking to so many other different people. For example, we've done our research, and we realized that the reason why Ghanaian music or Ghanaian artists get to a certain level and they are stuck is because we don't have any well-resourced record label in this country, be it personnel or funding. Because you cannot release a single in Ghana, no matter how good the music is, and you put, say, 200,000 Ghana cedis for your marketing, and another person release a song in Nigeria and put $250,000 for marketing. Obviously, your music might be the best, but his music will blow. So then it means that we need to set up one or two well-resourced record labels that have what it takes to market Ghanaian artists to that global.
And so by that you mean the Secretariat is going to lead that?
We will facilitate to bring private investment to do that.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Yeah, because if you say government, everything that belongs to government belongs to everybody.
Good.
So at the end of the day, that is why people come and say, oh, loan, you give loans to people, and to them, Abai Sika.
But Uncle Rex, but there are already existing, quote unquote, record labels who need certain push.
Amplify.
Exactly.
Amplify. So use the
Good.
word amplify. That's what we insist in. So for example, if we know a record label that is in existence,
Yeah.
they've done the work, we know their
Good.
work. We
Good.
know that what they lack is the funding.
Yeah.
I will not bring a funding and give to somebody who doesn't know anything. We will give that money to that record label and make sure that they use the money to do what they're supposed to do for us to achieve that result.
Good.
But it must make economic sense,
Good.
because no record label works to lose money.
Okay, so in that case, how are you going to select that? There are a number of record labels in this country. How are you going to choose? Okay, I'm going to do Links. I'm going to do Kewa's highly spiritual. What would be the model?
It's not government money, so it will not be a model. I mean, private capital looks for profit. So, for example, we will assess which these record labels that we have thousands of record labels in Ghana. If right now come and say, oh, I'm a government, I have money to support record labels, you will have 1,000 people lining up
Sure.
to say they have record labels.
Sure.
So we will assess and see who have been in the system, their track record, how many artists have they been able to break, and everything that makes sense. Then based on that, it will be chosen.
Okay, Joy 99.7 FM. Right here with us is Rex Owusu Marfo. He's a musician, but currently, the big job that has been given to him is the coordinator of the Blackstar Experience. He's here talking to us about the experience and everything you need to know about it. I'm also in the studio with Uncle Ken and Uncle Francis. It's an all uncle affair, Uncle Francis.
Yeah. So again, I mean, the record label thing that Rex mentioned is what piqued my interest again to say that. Then wouldn't that be what the Creative Arts Agency, for instance, is supposed to be working on, and looking at how to support that particular industry, the creative arts industry, with the kind of systems and infrastructure that will help the creatives to flourish. And so, again, it looks like, so if a particular sector is not doing what it's supposed to do, even though that's supposed to be its mandate, then the Blackstar Experience steps in to as it were, help or amplify that to happen. Is that a case? Is that
so?
Yeah,
you're right. So, for example, if I go and chance on, say, an angel investor, or go and chance on some big grant to set up a record label, obviously the implementer, it will be channeled through the Creative Arts Agency, because they deals with creative arts or the creative economy. It will be channeled through with all the needed whatever that needs to be done. For example, these people that are coming to build their film studio, We can't do it without NFA. It's coming through us, but we will deal through NFA because they are responsible for implementing. So they will help with everything because you cannot come from outside to build a film studio in Ghana without the involvement of NFA. So as we go through all these things, Blackstar Experience is there looking for opportunities to make sure that all the various sectors under the culture, arts, and tourism is amplified. So we don't get deeply involved in the implementation of projects that is already going on. The only way we'll get involved is when the investment is coming through us because of sustainability. If government has its own money and government says, I want to do something at the creative arts, blah, blah, government will not come through. It will go through the creative arts agency. But if we bring investment, be it private, after all, when we say Ghana is open for business, what are we talking about? We are encouraging private investors to come here, whether it's coming to build a hospital or school or whatever. It is private investment that is coming. And private capital always go for where they can make profit. But then there are specific agencies that are there to deal with specific aspect of the tourism, creative arts, and culture industry. So that is what we will do.
All right. Joy 99.7 FM. You can send in your messages 055-1111-997. Some people are already wishing their mothers happy Mother's Day. This one says, with great... Okay. I think there's a different message. This is with regards to the topic we are discussing. It says, with a great experience that Rex has in the industry, he really has the zeal to push the sector forward. My special greetings to Uncle Ken from Great Jabati, Gawest. Thank you so much. We're still here. We have some more questions for Uncle Rex. Let's do that after this one.
Unbelievable is yours to own with DSTV. Get unbelievable local entertainment with Shakai Lemba, Nigerian Idol, and Big Brother Niger.
Unforgettable night.
Catch unbelievable sporting moments from the Premier League, La Liga, F1, and more.
Absolutely sensational.
Laugh along with unbelievable kids edutainment like Paw Patrol. And experience unbelievable international shows like Law & Order and Lioness Special Ops.
Let's go!
Download the My DSTV app today and own the unbelievable.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma.
Eh?
The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Feel the excitement. Enjoy the conversation. Come with us on this exciting journey of growth and personal development. We challenge you to break the status quo, step out and do big things. Catch host Reverend Albert Okran as he vibes with CEOs, experts, and changemakers. Right here on Springboard, your virtual university. Now showing every Sunday at 9 p.m. on Joy News TV, 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, and streaming online on Facebook and YouTube. You can't miss it. Partners, MTN Ghana, Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Grows Program. A collaboration between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard Roadshow Foundation. Media partners, Joy FM, Joy News TV, and Graphic. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Kwame is cooking up the perfect multi-bet, ready to serve to all his friends and followers. He's using Betway's Bet Influencer, a new sports betting feature where he can make money just by sharing his codes. The more codes he shares, the more money he makes. Anyone can be a bet influencer. Another world first from Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
You just got added to the GoTV Best Football Friends chat group. Let's go!
Final.
It's finals time and all the biggest players are in it to win it. Catch every Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa League, Conference League. To cut the long voice note short, you know who'll be there for you when you need to watch the finals. Final. Stay connected to catch all the biggest football finals with your best football friend. GoTV. Love it.
They may be young, but don't be deceived. These rising culinary stars are ready to battle it out in the most intense kitchen showdown on television. With mind-blowing challenges, surprise twists, and jaw-dropping dishes, only one will rise to the top and claim the title. New rivalries, bigger stakes, epic flavors. Who has the skill, the heart, and the heat to survive the fire in the kitchen? Join me, Michelle Ajakun, the judges, and the awesome kitty chefs every Sunday at 4 p.m. only on Joy Prime. Big Chef, good meals by kids. Big Chef Junior Season 4 is proudly brought to you by Frito Vegetable Oil, Fortune Spread, Indomie, Gino Tomato Mix, Day Purified Drinking Water, Level 2 Feminine Wash, and Ready Vitamin C.
All right, so right here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Kwame Dadzie. We have Rex Owusu Marfo, coordinator of Blackstar Experience, here with us in the studio, and we've been talking about what it entails. Let's get back to him, and then let's wrap up on this one, the way forward, and everything else that we need to know about it. Uncle Rex.
Yes.
So after the beautiful launch and everything, what should we look out for this year? A summary of that, and then we go.
I would say we have to be hopeful, and then we have to be positive about this initiative. As I said earlier on, Blackstar Experience must be owned by Ghanaians. We must understand what it is. It's not a duplication. It's an agenda to help to put our best foot out there. It is an agenda to redefine, revitalize, reaffirm our identity in the global market. As the account people will say, and it is the time for us to reaffirm, remember who we are, so that we don't so we are packaging Ghana through arts and culture to put our best foot out there. So in going forward, a lot of programs are going to happen.
Awesome.
As I said, some of them will be launched this year for next year. So we are planning ahead of time, 2026, 2027, because any meaningful project you want to do, if it's an event, you need a minimum of 1 year to plan. So these are some of the things that we're doing. But this year, Dirty December with Dirty December.
Yay.
A lot of gigs will happen here.
Dirty December.
As I told you, some of the gigs that are coming, all of them are driven by private capital. But they will happen.
Great.
The difference is we are trying as much as possible to also empower Ghanaian creative entrepreneurs to own some of these projects, so that the capital will revolve in Ghana, and then the platforms will be developed in such a way that we can use it as a springboard to also export our stuff. As at the same time, we inviting other people with the know-how to come. It will take time before we also build our own capacity.
Great.
So some of these things are going to happen, and then we should all be hopeful. This is not something that is going to stop tomorrow. It is something that will succeed government after government after government. This is a national campaign to tell the world who we are, the Black Star of Africa. See Ghana, feel Ghana, and enjoy Ghana.
Enjoy Ghana.
Thank you.
So if anybody wants to reach your secretariat, any number, any email address, how to contact you, sir?
You can send us email for now. That www.blackstarexperience.gov.gh.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rex Omar. And Rex Omar is coordinator of Blackstar Experience. Alrighty. So you just had that conversation with Rex Owusu Marfo, coordinator of Blackstar Experience here on Joe 99.7 FM. So now you know what Blackstar Experience is. Yellow Ghana. Exciting news for everyone looking to join the MTN family or grab an extra MTN SIM card. The MTN SIM cards are available for incredible price of just 10 Ghana cedis. Yes, you heard right. Only 10 Ghana cedis. Now head down to any MTN Service Center, Connect store, or your nearest authorized community shop to take advantage of this fantastic offer. Remember to purchase your new SIM card and get connected. All you need is to bring your valid Ghana card.